Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Jamuna Tira Vanamchari Jamuna Tira Vanamchari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Jamuna Tira Vanamchari Jamuna Tira Vanamchari Jaya Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe, Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radhe, Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Go Simanande Dayam Vishupad Paramahamsa Pari Vrajagachaja Stotra Satta Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Shiraboy Charan Arvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Skandi Biti Founder Charya Divine Grace Sri Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Harinama Sankirtan Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Dainitai Gaura Pimanandi all glorious to be assembled devotees all glorious to be assembled devotees all glorious to be assembled devotees all glorious to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga all glorious to Sri Prabhupada. Pranam mantra is like that. This is not time to practice yoga. A lazy way of doing pranam. Just sometimes older people, they don't have choice, but young bodies. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksuranmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavam Scha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sriti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaisavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayana Rishi, the Supremost Human Being, unto Mother Saraswati, the Goddess of Learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Prayesa Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and the loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama
Idam Bhagavatam Nama
Puranam Brahma Samhitam
Puranam Brahmasamhitam
Tamasloka Charitam
Tamasloka Charitam
Sakara Bhagavan Rishi
Sakara Bhagavan Rishi
Nisreyasaya Lokasya
Nishreyasaya Lokasya
Dhanyam Swastaya Namaha.
Dhanyam Swastaya Namaha.
This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantara, as the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya,
Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda,
Prabhu Nityananda
Sri Advaita Gadadhara,
Sri Advaita Gadadhara
Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda,
Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Sarabhyaya Namaha.
Om Surabhyaya Namaha
Om Sarabhyaya Namaha.
Om Surabhyaya Namaha
Om Sarabhyaya Namaha.
Om Surabhyaya Namaha
Mukam karoti vachalam pagam langayate girim yatkripatamaham bande Sridham Janataranam yatkripatamaham bande Sridham Janataranam. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Sunday morning Bhagavatam class. A rare day to have full sun at this time. Continuing from chapter 9 of the first canto, chapter entitled The Passing Away of Bhishmadev. Today we're looking at text number 18, 1-8. Esha
Isha
Vai
Vai
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Sakshad
Sakshat
Adyo
Adyo
Narayana
Narayana
Puman
Puman
Mohayan
Mohan
Mayaya
Mayaya
Lokam
Lokam
Gudhash
Gudas
Charati
Sarati
Vrishnishu
Vishnishu
Eshabai Bhagavan Sakshad
Yeshavai Bhagavan Sakshat
Adyo Narayana Pumanna
Adyo Narayana Puman
Mohayan Mayaya Lokam
Mohayan Maya Lokam
Gudhas Charati Vrishnishu
Gudascharati Vishnishu
Eshabai Bhagavan Sakshad
Yeshavai Bhagavan Sakshat
Adyo Narayana Pumanna
Adyo Narayana Puman
Mohayan Mayaya Lokam
Mohayan Maya Lokam
Gudhas Charati Vrishnishu
Gudascharati Vishnishu
Eshabai Bhagavan Sakshad
Yeshavai Bhagavan Sakshat
Adyo Narayana Pumanna
Adyo Narayana Puman
Mohayan Mayaya Lokam
Mohayan Maya Lokam
Gurhascharati Vrishnishibu
Gurasarati Vishnishu
Esho bhai Bhagavan Sakshat
Eshavai Bhagavan Sakshad
Addo Narayana Puman
Adyo Narayana Puman
Mohayan Mayaya Lokam
Mohayam Mayaya Lokam
Bodhascharati Vishnishu
Godascharati Vrishnishu
Eshavai Bhagavan Sakshat
Eshavai Bhagavan Sakshad
Adhyo Narayana Puman
Adyo Narayana Puman
Mohayan Maya Lokam
Mohayan Mayaya Lokam
Gudascharati Vrishnishu
Godascharati Vrishnishu Eshaha This Vai positively
Positively
Bhagavan the personality of Godhead
Personality of Godhead
Sakshat
Sakshat
original
Original
Adyaha
Adyaha
the first Narayanaha
Narayana the Lord
who lies down on the water
who lies down under the water
on the water
on
not under the water maybe he goes swimming sometimes also but Puman
Puman
the supreme enjoyer
the supreme enjoyer
Mohayan
Mohayan
bewildering
bewildering
Mayaya
Maya
by his self-created energy
by his self-created energy
Lokam
Lokam
the planets
the planets
Gudaha
Buddha
who is inconceivable
who is inconceivable
Mm. Charati
Charati
moves
moves
Vrishnishu
Vishnishu
among the Vrishni family.
among the Vrishni family.
Translation and purport by the Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Jai.
This Sri Krishna is no other than the inconceivable original personality of Godhead. He is the first Narayana, the supreme enjoyer. But he is moving amongst the descendants of King Vrishni, just like one of us, and he is bewildering us with his self-created energy. Kindly repeat after me. This Sri Krishna
This Sri Krishna
is no other than
is no other than
the inconceivable
The inconceivable
original personality of Godhead.
original personality of Godhead.
He is the first Narayana,
He is the first Narayana,
the supreme enjoyer.
the supreme enjoyer.
But he is moving
But he is moving
amongst the descendants
amongst the descendants
of King Vrishni,
of King Vishnu,
just like one of us,
just like one of us,
and he is bewildering us
and he is bewildering us
with his self-created energy.
with his self-created energy.
Purport. The Vedic system of acquiring knowledge is the deductive process. The Vedic knowledge is received from authorities. Such knowledge is never dogmatic, as ill-conceived by less intelligent persons. The mother is the authority to verify the identity of the father. She is the authority for confidential knowledge. Therefore, authority is not dogmatic. In the Bhagavad Gita, this truth is confirmed In the 4th chapter, 4.2, and the perfect system of learning is to receive it from authority. The very same system is accepted universally as truth, but only the false arguer speaks against it. For example, modern spacecraft fly in the sky, and when scientists say that they travel to the other side of the moon, men believe these stories blindly because they have accepted the modern scientists as authorities. The authorities speak, and the people in general believe them. But in the case of Vedic truths, they have been taught not to believe. So Prabhupada is telling common ordinary people have been taught to believe that we have gone to the moon, we have gone on the other side of the moon. And because they are authorities, people they believe. But people have also been taught not to believe the authorities, the actual authorities, which are Vedas. Yeah. Even if they accept them, they give a different interpretation. Each and every man wants a direct perception of Vedic knowledge. But foolishly, they deny it. This means that the misguided man can believe one authority, the scientist, but will reject the authority of the Vedas. The result is that people have degenerated. What is the meaning of degenerated? Well, because, degenerated means they have fallen. To degenerate means to come down. So the example here is that in the advanced society, according to Vedic understanding, we should believe naturally, automatically, without any difficulty. We should be accepting the authorities of Veda. And who is representing the authority of Veda? Sadhus, isn't it? Guru. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. That is how we get knowledge. So because modern society has fallen, are no longer following Vedic principles, don't know about dharma, so they accept some other authority. We have to ultimately accept some authority, but modern people, they accept, especially modern scientists, which are not always correct in their understanding. Yeah. So in the purport, Prabhupada continues here. Here is an authority speaking about Sri Krishna. Who is that authority speaking about Krishna? Bhishmadev. Isn't it? Bhishmadev is speaking here. So Prabhupada is telling, here's an authority speaking about Krishna as the original personality of Godhead and the first Narayana. Even such an impersonalist as Acharya Shankara, Sringeri. He's from Sringeri. He has connection with that will follow you until the end of this life, Sringeri connection. Even such an impersonalist as Acharya Shankara has said in the beginning of his commentation on the Bhagavad Gita that Narayana, the personality of Godhead, is beyond the material creation. And there's a small explanation. Yes, Prabhupada gives the actual reference. Narayana paro vyaktad andam anyaka sambhavam adasyantas tvime loka sapta dvipa samedini. From the Bhashya of Shankara, Bhagavad Gita, Bhashya of Shankara. The universe is one of the material creations, but Narayana is transcendental to such material paraphernalia. Yes. Bhishma Dev is one of the 12 Mahajanas who know the principles of transcendental knowledge. His confirmation of Lord Sri Krishna's being the original personality of Godhead is also corroborated by the impersonalist Shankara. All other acharyas have also confirmed this statement, and thus there is no chance of not accepting Lord Sri Krishna as the original personality of Godhead. Bhishmadev says that he is the first Narayana. This is also confirmed by Brahmaji in the Bhagavatam 10:14-14. Krishna is the first Narayana. In the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, there are unlimited numbers of Narayanas. How can there be unlimited numbers of Narayanas? Huh? Because Krishna is inconceivable. So he has unlimited expansions. We see different Narayanas have different, in their forearms, Narayana has forearms, they have different position of the, what is it, chakra, yeah. So in the spiritual world of Vaikuntha, there are unlimited numbers of Narayanas who are all the same personality of Godhead and are considered to be the plenary expansions of the original personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. The first form of the Lord, Sri Krishna, the first form of the Lord expands himself as a form of Balaram. And Baladev expands in so many other forms, such as Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudeva, Narayana, Purusha, Rama, and Nrsimha. All these expansions are one and the same Vishnu Tattva. Here we go. Tattva, the subject matter of Tattva. One of the favorite topics, most important. And Sri Krishna is the original source of all the plenary expansions. He is therefore the director of Godhead. He is the creator of the material world. And he is the predominating deity known as Narayana in all the Vaikuntha planets. Therefore, his movements among human beings is another sort of bewilderment. The Lord therefore says in the Bhagavad Gita that foolish people consider him to be one of the human beings without knowing the intricacies of his movements. The bewilderment regarding Sri Krishna is of his twofold internal and external energies. Upon the third one, called marginal energy. What are those called in Sanskrit?
Marginal.
The three energies. external, internal, marginal, what they are called in Sanskrit. Sanskrit scholars. We have two Sanskrit scholars here. Huh?
Internal means antarnihita.
Antar, internal,
There is
Antarnihita.
Eternal,
Bahir Anga Shakti.
Antaranga.
Antaranga Shakti.
Antaranga. Eternal means Antaranga.
Yes, Antaranga Shakti, internal.
Eternal.
And external,
External, Tatashta.
Bahir. Bahir Anga Shakti. And marginal is.
Marginal, Tatashta.
Yes, yes. So that is what is being referred to here. The living entities, just to conclude, about to conclude the purport, the living entities are expansions of his marginal energy, and thus they are sometimes bewildered by the internal energy and sometimes by the external energy. So we have double opportunity to become bewildered. We become bewildered by the material energy because at nighttime when you look in the sky, if you're in the country, you can see the stars. In the city, you cannot see. When we look, it is inconceivable. So many stars. How this is all working? It is, yeah. So we are bewildered, living entity, because we're very, what is it? Very small, very tiny. We are bewildered by the material energy, and we are bewildered by the spiritual energy. So therefore, living entity is our deplorable condition. That is our unhappy condition. We are uh, practically speaking in a constant position of bewilderment. What is meaning of bewilderment?
Mohit. Mohit.
And okay, I'm looking for another word in English.
Mohanam.
So we can learn Sanskrit also, I suppose. Um, that is called in the Bhagavad Gita. That verse is there. Moga sha moga karmano.
Mogha.
Mogha.
Mogha means pap. Sinful activity.
No. Moga sha moga karmano. You find that verse. Moga sha moga karmano. Moga jnana vicitasa rakshasim masurim chaiva. Moga means what's the exact meaning? Moga.
Agha means papa. Sins. Agha
Ah.
means sins. Agha.
Aga.
Mogha.
Moga. Moga sha moga karmano. So is connected with bewilderment, may not mean directly bewilderment, but it means that when we take moghasha, mogasha moga karmano, or you can find under R also, rakshasim asurim chaiva. Rakshasim asurim. Mohinim.
Mogasha means of vain hopes.
Of being?
Of vain hopes. Of vain hopes, without hopes.
Without hope.
Moga asha.
Yeah. Asha, asha means
without, and asha means hope or shelter.
9.2.
And moga karmana means a vein of
asha. Asha,
and
knowledge.
of baffled knowledge, and vichetasa, deluded.
Yes.
That deluded is the bewilderment.
This is?
Similarity.
Yes. Why are you not giving me the book?
Yes, 9.12 Maharaj.
Give me the book.
So the bewilderment, similar word is vichetasa, deluded.
Deluded. Yes. So that is because the vast majority of people in the material world don't know Krishna. Don't know. Some people, they know about Krishna, but they don't know that Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. So yes, baffled, baffled. So baffled means confused, bewildered. So it's similar to this word bewildered. So this is what um, Srila Prabhupada is explaining how Grandfather Bhishma Dev, because he is one of the authorities, he is telling how Krishna, although he is that original Supreme Personality of Godhead, when he comes in the material world, he acts just like ordinary person, and so perfectly that no one can actually understand that he is God, that he is the Supreme Lord. And let's just finish the purport here. Well, since I got this is the translation, yes, of chapter 9, text 12, Moga Samoga Karmano. Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. So it means that no one can be victorious in the material world unless one knows about himself, about Krishna, and yes, the process of devotional service. So this last portion here, the living entities are expansions of his marginal energy, and thus they are sometimes bewildered by the internal energy and sometimes by the external energy. By internal energetic bewilderment, Sri Krishna expands himself into unlimited numbers of Narayanas and exchanges or accepts transcendental living service from the living entities in the transcendental world. So that is what is going on eternally in the spiritual world. Krishna is expanded in so many ways, and he is engaged in transcendental relationships actually with his different devotees in the spiritual world. So that is taking place in the spiritual world. And by his external energetic expansions, he incarnates himself in the material world amongst the men, animals, or demigods to reestablish his forgotten relation with the living entities in different species of life. Great authorities like Bhishma, however, escape his bewilderment by the mercy of the Lord. So everyone in the material world actually automatically, by nature, falls under the bewilderment of the material energy and the external energy. Only those who are fortunate to get another mat. Only those who are fortunate to have proper understanding will not bewilderment. Yeah.
What you told in the spiritual world also, everyone is bewildered, and he's bewildered. So why the spirit soul have to be bewildered in the spiritual world? Why is good for the soul that you wrote it? I remember.
No. Prabhupada is telling here, by internal energetic bewilderment, Sri Krishna expands himself in unlimited numbers of Narayanas, so we're talking about the spiritual world, and exchanges and accepts transcendental loving service from the living entities in the transcendental world. It doesn't say that the living entities are bewildered. Huh? Before.
was before. Hare Krishna.
Haribol, Hare Krishna, welcome. So before, okay, this last paragraph is important. The bewilderment regarding Sri Krishna is due to the action of his twofold internal and external energies. Upon the third one, which is called the marginal energy. So the living entity is the marginal energy. And when we are in the material world, as we are now, we have, because of our very tiny position, and also mainly because of our being under the influence of the three modes of material nature, we become bewildered by these two energies. We cannot understand about the material energy, isn't it? Because material energy works in practically inconceivable ways, isn't it? Even this one small universe, we're living in the smallest universe, but for us, this universe is not small. Our planet is the smallest planet, but we have very little understanding about what is happening in other planets, isn't it?
I'm bewildered by these little animals.
We're also, yes.
I'm so big and still my mind is just blowing
Yes.
up when they come.
Yes,
It's bewildering.
So Krishna actually keeps the living entities, especially those, actually only those who are not fully Krishna conscious, under different levels of bewilderment. So then Prabhupada continues here, yeah. So this point is being made that the bewilderment regarding Sri Krishna is due to the action of his twofold energies. The internal energy that is called Mohini Prakriti, and the external energy, which is, internal energy, is Daivi Prakriti. Mohini Prakriti is external energy, Maya, Mohini. So, unless one is fully Krishna conscious, then he will tend to be bewildered by these two energies.
Now here is the living entities expansive margin.
The living
energy, and thus
okay,
they are sometimes bewildered.
Okay, yes, okay, the point you're making. The living entities are expansions of his marginal energy, and thus they are sometimes bewildered by the internal energy and sometimes by the external energy. That is especially when we are here in the material world. And of course, because Krishna has not only, how many Mayas are there? There is Mahamaya, and then there is Yoga Maya. Yeah. So Yoga Maya is Krishna's internal energy. Just like the relationship between Krishna's devotees, for example, in Vrindavan, so sometimes those devotees are under Yoga Maya. Because although they are interacting directly, Krishna is right in front of them. They're speaking with Krishna, they're playing with Krishna. Mother Yashoda is chastising Krishna. That is all under the influence of Yoga Maya. Otherwise, who will dare to chastise the Supreme Personality of Godhead?
That's what I heard just yesterday. That it is the very unique philosophy of our Vaishnava line. Because no one else explaining Yoga Maya as this kind of action.
Yes.
They think something different ways, but
correct.
That is the way how Krishna can relate to the very intimate little souls.
Yes.
That's the bridge Yoga Maya for between them.
Yes. Yes. So in this way we can begin we can begin to understand a little bit how, what's the word, lofty. Lofty means very, very big, very, very advanced. You know, what the Goswamis of Vrindavan, because we are following in the footsteps of the Goswamis of Vrindavan, Rupanugas, Srila Rupa Goswami especially, what they have given us is what, of course, is coming from Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has revealed actually so many things. See, that's what happens in the material world. At different times, the knowledge gets lost or gets covered. Just like we're reading in our Vaishnav Acharya's commentary that this whole very confidential, very esoteric dimension of Radha and Krishna, it was Srila Madhavendra Puri, isn't it? It means only just a few hundred years ago. Means just a little bit before the time of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this became revealed. So that is the nature here in the material world, that things, knowledge, Krishna explains actually in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, because this knowledge sometimes gets forgotten or gets lost, there's a need to re-establish, isn't it? Guru Parampara. I come from that for that purpose. Evam parampara praptam. I come, yes, Rajarshis. And it's interesting, we were talking yesterday about the exalted, just like Bhishmadev, this chapter is dealing with the passing away of grandfather Bhishmadev. So Rajarshis, Krishna chose to reveal, to re-establish, to reintroduce the science of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, who is a Kshatriya, isn't it? So that means that actually the Kshatriyas are also meant to help re-establish. Actually, they are meant to uphold the principles of Dharma. And therefore, because they are the ones who are responsible to actually organize society, isn't it? The Brahmanas are kind of like aloof. Yeah. They can just be sitting in the cave somewhere in the mountain and just chant Hare Krishna.
10 minutes here, 10
Yeah.
minutes
But Kshatriyas, they're the ones who will, because they are like in Rajas. They're meant to organize society based on the principles of Dharma. And the Brahmanas are actually meant to guide them, isn't it? So, and when there are no Kshatriyas to guide, then what are the Brahmanas meant to do? They're meant to create Kshatriyas. They're meant to preach in such a way that some people will be trained to become Kshatriyas. Because unless we have Kshatriya, society will always be in disarray, disorganized.
Brahmanas, Kshatriyas have to have sons who become Brahmanas.
Yes, there is sometimes Brahmanas become Kshatriyas and sometimes Kshatriyas become Brahmanas. Yes, and in Kali Yuga it's even more complicated. That is one reason why it's very difficult for most people in the world, especially those who are born outside of India, who don't have connection with the Vedic culture. That's why it's more difficult nowadays to understand who we are. what is our varna? Sometimes people say, Maharaj, what is my varna? Who am I? So, of course, for devotees who are, we discussed this point different times, devotees who are living in temples, maybe that is less critical to know what is my dharma, because we especially study and focus on Sanatan Dharma, uh, the Dharma of the soul, which is to render bhakti. That is, of course, the Param Dharma. Uh, but when we're not living in temple, when we are having to interact with the material world, with society, then it becomes important to know about Varna.
Because the maintenance. Devotees in temple, they don't have to consider how I maintain myself.
Yeah, in the temple, everyone is
Just maintain.
Mahaprasad, go.
But at home,
Right.
you can see Mahaprasad.
Yeah, if you have to work to earn a livelihood.
And then you have to meet with non-devotees,
yes,
businessmen, so different persons, cheaters.
Yes, and plenty of those in Kali Yuga at this present time. So therefore, sometimes actually devotees don't understand how in the early days, in the beginning of the movement, Srila Prabhupada was especially, actually he was focused on catching people who were showing some sign are the head of society. But then Srila Prabhupada, after some time, he explained that we can see that it's not so easy to create brahmanas, and also why should we only be concerned about brahmanas? We should be concerned about everyone becoming connected with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, and therefore he began to speak more of the importance of varnashrama, isn't it? That regardless of our position, regardless of our varna, if the fundamental basic activity is devotional service, then we can take up any position in society and we can actually attain perfection of life. So this point is being made here by Grandfather Bhishmadev. He's establishing, actually there's the original authority and how it's natural actually for people to accept somebody. Children will accept their father and mother as authority. Mother will something, children, if they're good children, they will accept. So it's natural. We are reading also in the purport how in modern day society, for example, people accept scientists as the authority. So it's natural to accept authority, but the unfortunate condition in modern day society, because people have not been trained in the science of dharma, they, on the one hand, tend to accept authority from scientists, but they don't accept so easily authority from Shastra, from Veda. And it's only when we come to accept and understand how real knowledge, this is the first line of the purport, our system of receiving knowledge is deductive. One is called descending, and what is the opposite? Descending knowledge. Descending means to come down, and the other one is ascending. Ascending. So ascending actually is the system of those who are like mental speculators. Ordinary people, modern day scientists to a large extent, or intellectuals, they that is the mainstream philosophy that we can only accept something if we can see it. So seeing is believing. If I don't see it, I don't believe it. Actually, this is a recent, we could say, philosophy which is not supported by Shastra, but this is like mainstream philosophy in the academic world. That actually they even say that there is no such thing as absolute truth. We can only understand something. So what devotees say, what Shastra is telling, is that actually there is such a thing as absolute truth. And that absolute truth can only be understood when it is received through Shastra. That's why, just like Grandfather Bhishmadev, he is one such great authority, one of the 12 Mahajans, and therefore we receive knowledge from such personalities. So, and ultimately, yes, that is the process by which we can, end our bewilderment or confusion in the material world. Otherwise, one will not be able to understand, one will remain confused, and therefore will practically forever continue to be in the material world, take another body, birth after birth, etc., like that. Why it is Krishna consciousness movement. It is meant for developing the consciousness of Krishna. What is the consciousness of Krishna? That is being explained here by Grandfather Bhishmadev, that Krishna is that original, he's the source actually of all knowledge, he's the source of everything, he's the source of all energies. He is, and the purport Prabhupada speaks about Tattva. He is Vishnu Tattva. He is the source of all Vishnu Tattva. In our temple, did you get darshan yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in our temple we have Pancha Tattva. 5 Tattva. What are the 5 Tattvas?
That's what they are
Yeah.
representing.
The name is Chaitanya, Advaita, but which one represents which Tattva? There are 5 Tattvas. It says 5 Tattvas, but there are actually 3 categories of Tattva in the Pancha Tattva. What are they?
Vishnu Tattva,
Who is Vishnu Tattva?
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya.
Yes, Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda, Advaita, Vishnu Tattva. Then
Then Radharani on Tattva, Gadadhar Pandit on Tattva, and on Tattva.
what Tattva? So Vishnu Tattva is 3, Chaitanya, Nityananda, Advaita. Then Gadadhar, he is Shakti Tattva. Shakti representing Srimati Radharani. And Srivas Thakur, he is Jiva Tattva. Jiva Tattva. We are all sitting here, as far as I know, everyone is Jiva Tattva.
Looks like maybe someone like coming from
Someone,
nearby.
someone concealed, But most living entities that we meet on a daily basis are Jiva Tattva. You're very, very rare, especially in Kali Yuga, to meet someone who is Vishnu Tattva or Shakti Tattva. And we should not be disappointed, but we also cannot become Vishnu Tattva nor Shakti Tattva. We are eternally, isn't it? Yeah.
and you see little boys playing, and one of the boys are like a dark body. Maybe that boy is
Yeah,
not.
there is a fruit, huh?
Yeah.
So you better not go out there with your fruit. He has fruit, actually. Yeah.
Sanatan Goswami was amazed, and he was going to bed, and he saw two boys playing so beautifully. He could not leave them. He just watched them all day.
Yes.
And one of them, when they ran into the temple,
Yes.
they stand on the altar.
Oh, yeah.
That moment was shock for him.
Yes. So, this is the specialty of Mahaprabhu's teachings and the specialty of the Vaishnava Acharyas coming down in Guru Parampara from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because that was the order, actually. That was the request, that was the seva, special mercy actually given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to have the 6 Goswamis take out from the Shastra so much of, yeah, these guys are all coming back. Huh? Disturbing us here in the Bhagavatam class.
Yes, the sun coming up there.
Yeah, yes. When the sun comes out, everyone's attracted. Yeah, because the sun is representing Krishna. So that is why ultimately, when this understanding, when this truth, when this tattva, when these different types of tattvas will be known and revealed to more and more people, then there will be, that is the prediction of our acharyas also, there will be a whole transformation actually in society, in the world, because at present people engage in all kinds of ultimately sinful activities. When we are fortunate to receive this knowledge, and that is our primary responsibility as devotees, that is the mission of the Sankirtan movement, then what are the 4 ways? 4 ways, which are also 4 waves. What are the 4 ways that we can help people become transformed from, what is it? From Mayajan to Harijan, to use Gandhi's. Gandhi wanted to make everyone into Harijan, but then Prabhupada is telling that actually Harijan is a very elevated stage. Harijan means actually the Vaishnava, isn't it? So what are the 4 ways? 4 ways that actually Prabhupada has conceived for gradually bringing people from their conditioned state to their liberated states, from Mayajan to Harijan, from non-devotee to devotee. What is the first? By giving this, by giving Harinam and the expansion or extension of Harinam, which is books, transcendental books, that Prabhupada referred to as Brihat Mridanga. The Brihat Mridanga, yeah. So the books, they are like the big mridanga. Small mridanga, only a few people can hear, but when we distribute books, so many people all over the world they can hear. So that's Harinam, Sankirtan, the holy name in books. Second way that Prabhupada conceived, by having temples, opening temples, isn't it? Bringing people, introducing them to Radha and Krishna, Radhastami. That's why you're going to Hungary, to be participating in 3 Radhastami. And then the third, by congregation, developing, spiritual initiation movement. And the fourth one? Huh?
No,
Prasadam.
that's the initiation program. It's still there. When you are initiated, you got some feast.
Even before you're initiated. When you start going to a temple, you know, Sunday feast program, yeah, that's how so many, well, all of us, we are attracted to Krishna through prasadam, especially in the beginning, yeah. So the fourth one is varnashram, by creating communities where devotees are actually living the Bhagavatam. They are associating with one another. They're living based on what is called agrarian village Braja lifestyle, like the residents of Braja, like the residents of Vrindavan, isn't it? So therefore,
Starting one is Vrat Mridanga. Second one, Maharaj.
the first one is the holy name and books. That is called Sankirtan movement in that context. And the second one is called temple worship movement, establishing temples and requesting the Lord to kindly make himself, manifest so that people can know, oh, that is God. That is the Lord. Yeah. And number 3 is called spiritual initiation movement. Yeah, congregational preaching, training people to become committed, to become part of Krishna's family. And the fourth one is Varnashram, that Prabhupada referred to as classless society. To bewilder, it may be a little bit bewildering in the beginning, classless society. That means that everyone, regardless of one's position, just like Mahaprabhu has instructed, Kiba Vipra, Kiba Nyasi, Shudra Kenenoy, Jai Krishna Tattvaveta, say Guru Hoy. Whoever, anyone can learn the science of Krishna. Anyone can learn that Krishna Stu Bhagavan Swayam. Everyone can chant Hare Krishna. And the more we chant Hare Krishna in association with devotees, by following the prescribed activities, especially in the matter of sadhu sangha, nama kirtan, bhagavata sravana, mathura vasa, srimurtira. These are 5 most powerful ways by which very quickly we can awaken in the heart. What do we want to awaken in the Krishna Prem? Yes. Krishna Prem will very quickly begin to awaken in the heart if we follow these 5 very powerful. The mode of passion is kicking in. Early morning is mode of goodness. That is the first portion of the day comes to an end, which means that it must be close to 7 o'clock. What time is it?
7.
7? 7 is very close to 7. It's exactly 7, yeah. So any questions or comments?
I have because in these steps, practically more and more authorities the one have to accept.
More and more?
Authorities.
Authority.
Yeah. Because when you chant Hare Krishna, you don't have to
Oh,
little leader when follow someone, but it's not really a
right.
authority. There's a temple president, you have to, but it's not, daily you are not
Yeah.
relating to that. But the next one, you have to have a spiritual master. So
Yeah.
one authority in
Yeah,
your
yeah.
life, it's very strong step we feel.
Yes.
Not so easy.
Yes.
And then you have many authorities.
Many authorities. Yes.
Kshatriyas have brahmanas.
Yes.
How
Yes.
how to develop that consciousness? You accept different persons, who may be not perfect persons,
Yes.
but still to
Yes.
be your authority. What is that?
The only way that one can actually, that means that actually one needs to become more advanced in Krishna consciousness to accept, as you mentioned, certain authorities who may not be liberated souls. Within, yeah, because in the material world, Paramahamsas are quite rare. So in the system of Varnashrama, we, as you rightly mentioned, we are living in a society, and there are different authorities that we need to respect and that we need to follow. I mean, Brahmanas, anyone who is a spiritual leader, he's an authority. Then you have government. There's so many different authorities in government. If you're driving your car and you're speeding, then the police will say, hey, slow down, give you a ticket. So many different authorities are there. So the only way actually to be able to interact properly with different authorities is by ourselves becoming more advanced in consciousness. And even in our daily activities, we have to deal with, isn't it, different devotees? Even amongst ourselves as devotees, if we don't have this higher consciousness developed, we will have difficulties in dealing with different devotees. They may or may not be direct authority, but this is coming back to our earlier discussion about ahankara. As long as we maintain this false ego, ahankar, then it's like that's constantly happening in the material world. One false ego meeting another false ego. Haribo. One ahankar meeting another ahankar. So unless we become devoid of false ego, then the tendency will always be there to, why he's telling this to me, or why, whatever. So those who are more Krishna conscious, those who are more purified in consciousness, they will be able to accept more easily more authorities. But nice point, actually. It's true. So that's maybe one of the reasons also why some devotees cannot relate so much to Varnashram. There's too many authorities. We have a hard time enough with one authority sometimes. What to speak if we have many authorities? Okay, and the sun also is telling us something. It's time to end the Bhagavatam class. It's getting hot. Jai Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki.
Jai.
Jai Sri Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Gaura Pimanande.
Hare Krishna.